you're a home buyer, somebody or a young person looking to buy a home, you need a bit of a reset.
There is a possibility on the other side of this that inflation could actually be quite low.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and today we're going to talk about the potential inventory explosion that we are potentially facing over the next decade. And I'm not just talking about interest rates going down. You guys know I've been covering the fact that when interest rates go down, say into the low 6% and the high 5%, there will be a flood of sellers that come back to the market. My estimate is anywhere, depending on how low the rates go, anywhere from a 1.5 to 2 million houses coming back to the market. Now, when we look at the rules of supply and demand, what we know is right now the prices of houses are being propped up from the low demand of existing homes. But when we look at new construction, we already have super low interest rates in new construction. In fact, in my area, you guys, Lennar has offered 4.5 30-year fixed rate almost this entire year. And despite the 4.5% 30-year fixed rate, prices are plummeting with new homes. Down right now, you guys, over 17%, almost 18% in prices. So regardless of the 4.5%, prices have been plummeting. Meanwhile, the supply has been going up, sitting at 7.8 months of supply. So overall, you guys, the reason why prices are crashing with new homes is we've had over 6 months of inventory, 6 months of supply for about a year. So when we have inventory levels and supply levels like that in existing homes, the same thing will happen, and it's potentially going to be much worse, because what existing home sellers can't do is offer these outrageous buying incentives that builders are offering right now, like a 4.5% fixed rate, paying your closing costs and a $30,000 price cut. You can't get that in existing homes right now. So in other words, you guys, the lower the rates go, the more that existing homeowners are going to sell. And when they start to decide to sell, in order for a lot of them to sell, depending on the metro area, they will have to compete with new construction. Now, I'm blessed because my metro area is heavy. Literally, I go outside of my door, there's new construction everywhere. And do me a favor, guys, comment below and let me know if you're in a metro area that is heavy in new construction, and if you see that starting to impact existing sales. And we're starting to finally see that in Florida. Florida has inventory growth right now faster than any other state, and they are the number 2 state of new construction. So I think Florida is next. And right now the spotlight should be on Texas, because we have multiple metro areas right now, unlike any other state, that have year over year price decline. But don't forget this, guys, I'm not a financial advisor, even though my bio is as a realtor of over a decade, a loan officer of over 2 decades, a CE cheerleading instructor of over 5 years. So I've been around the block. Plus I've had my foreclosure, my bankruptcy, and my repo. So I had to dig myself out of the ditches, which was extremely, it was so bad for me, you guys. It was so much harder to rebound because I had all of that stuff on my back. People kept wanting to hold me back. Oh, your interest rate's going to be 20% because you lost everything, right? So I'm hoping we can prevent people from learning the hard way like I did. But regardless, you guys, the name of this Yahoo Finance article is "A Wave of Inventory Could Hit the Housing Market in the Coming Years as a whopping 24 million homes present an opportunity for fix and flip investors." Very, very intriguing headline. Wouldn't you agree? 24 million homes? Holy smokes. 3 main bullet points right here. Number 1, the U.S. housing market can see a wave of inventory thanks to a rise in home flipping. Very interesting. Bullet point number 2, fix and flip investor activity has already been on the rise this year. Broker New Western said. Okay, that's interesting. I think they're going to get caught with their pants down, and they're going to be forced sellers. The firm estimated as many as 24 million homes can present an opportunity to fix and flip investors. That's intriguing. But let's see what their point is. Why are they saying that exactly? The housing market can see a wave of much needed inventory in the coming years, thanks to as many as 24 million homes entering prime age for renovation. So they're basically saying there's a whole bunch of houses on the market right now that are messed up and that need repairs. And trust me when I say, if home sellers and homeowners are struggling, and Todd Sachs always talks about this, they cannot afford to fix their house up. So a lot of them may just cash in on their equity because they can't afford to fix it. Now, that presents an opportunity for fix and flip investors. The real estate brokerage said a shift could be coming in the US housing market next year in 2024 and could continue through all the way into 2027. That's really, really interesting to think about. Thanks to a wider market of homes available to real estate investors focused on buying and renovating older homes to put them back on the market. This goes on. Home flipping already appears to be on the rise in pockets. Oh, okay, there we go. So in pockets of the US, new Western investor activities in cities like what? That's my city. Beat it, creeps. Kick rocks, investors in cities like Houston. That's me, you guys. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, I'm really blessed because I see so many different angles of the housing market crash, plus my experience. I mean, it's really hard for me to be patient because it's so clear to me. But anyways, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia are up over 20% in the second half of the year compared to the first half of the year. The steady beat of what we like to call the Great Renovation will continue into 2024. So this is the Great Renovation, guys. Comment below. Do you think we're going to have a Great Renovation in 2024? Let me know your thoughts. The prime remodeling years for homes will rise into 2027 with 24 million homes ripe for major renovation. That could spell good news for the housing market, which has been slammed with a shortage of inventory over the past year amid high mortgage rates. Rates have cooled from recent highs, but homeowners are still hesitant to let go of their ultra low rates at which they financed their homes years ago. Except when we look at the cash out refinancing numbers, you guys, cash out refinancing, I think is actually up close to 20% right now. And the average cash out amount is $104,000, which means the people that are cash out refinancing right now are predominantly people that purchased prior to 2022 that have the great interest rates. So again, the people that are in the golden handcuffs right now, that pool of people is shrinking and they are running to their lenders to cash out over $100,000 just to afford to keep up. If it's me, I'm selling my house, probably rebudgeting. I'm taking that money and I'm going to create a cushion and I'm going to better my life. Over 90%. Okay, so over 90% of US homeowners with a mortgage are financed at rates below 6%. That's a lot. The housing market, meanwhile, had just 1.5 million homes for sale in October, about a 34% decline from October pre-COVID, so October 2018, when inventory clocked in at 2.3 million, Redfin data shows. Markets, though, are feeling more positive that inventory levels will improve in 2024. And you guys, if inventory levels come up in 2024, then prices will go down. The National Association of Home Builders is forecasting a 5% increase in home building starts next year. That would be crazy. Fix and flip investors will also be a critical resource in boosting the supply of homes. Demand is high for new homes, but timelines are long and only a small percentage of new homes are being built in an affordable price range. Now, here's the thing, you guys, they have homes that are available all over the place right now. So that's nonsense. But what is accurate right here is the houses they are building, they're out of reach for the locals. They're building houses that are over the median sales price. And honestly, you guys, again, at least in my area in Houston, half of these new houses are going to migration because the locals can't afford $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses. I can't afford $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses, again, because Texas especially has outrageous property taxes. So maybe I can find a $380,000 house, but the tax rate is 3.5%. So my monthly taxes are about $1,000 a month. Think about that. I mean, it's so unaffordable right now. It's just so crazy. Again, for the locals, it's completely out of reach. It's completely out of touch. Builders are definitely a solution, but the independent investor is an overlooked resource and often doesn't have to contend with as stringent regulation as builders. Yeah, right. Builders are building crappy houses, you guys. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, that they are rushing the process. And basically, if you're going to buy a new home, it's like rolling the dice. It's like playing Russian roulette with your finances. And that's actually very scary, even though they do come with a 1-year bumper to bumper warranty and then a 5-year and then a 10-year. So I know they're, have that warranty, but I mean, look at the nightmare stories we've been hearing. More inventory added to the housing market could be a key to making housing more affordable, as tight supply has pushed prices higher over the past year. The median U.S. home price hit $413,000. Redfin data shows nearly double the $278,000 price tag recorded only 5 years ago. So honestly, we need something in the low 300,000s right now. Now, do me a favor, you guys, let me know what you believe is the track that we need to take to bring affordability overall back to the housing market. I mean, how do we bring balance back? Now, personally, I think as long as we stay elevated, you know what, let's stay elevated for as long as possible, because when they drop the rates, that's when we're going to have the flood of inventory. But we need to also make sure that buying demand has been crippled enough to where that inventory stays on the market and the supply goes up over 6 months. And again, I believe we're going to see that. But again, I'm also saying that the longer we stay and have elevated interest rates like this, the better. But I'm really curious to know what you think. I've been seeing a lot of comments in our comment section that are absolutely great comments, a lot of good intel, but sometimes people don't tell us what metro area that they're in. So they'll give us this great intel report, and then I'm like, this is great, but what metro is this in, right? So don't forget, guys, comment below, give us some intel, but don't forget to add what metro area you are in, because most of us are reading at least the valuable comments. And I just wanted to let you guys know I absolutely appreciate that. Now, overall, if you're on the sideline, what I believe, again, and I always say this, what we should be doing right now is increasing our purchasing power by improving our credit, making sure the utilization ratio on our credit cards is super duper low. So you want to pay the utilization ratio game with credit cards. That's one of the great ways to increase your credit score. But number two, so the credit's number one. Number two is income. Probably one of the most important things to do right now is to make as much income as possible. Get another side job, right? I have 3 other self-employment jobs because, cash flow is extremely, extremely important. So start a side hustle. Johnny is one of our core subscribers on our channel, set up a side business selling hats, and I can't wait to plug his company. And I won't charge him anything because I'm proud of this man, and I want to show you guys anyone can do it. And Johnny's a very smart man, but he's killing it, you guys. You want to make as much money as possible. So work for yourself, invest in yourself. It is scary, but it is important. And the last thing is assets. You want to have money. You have to afford the down payment, the closing costs, the appraisal, the inspections. So one of the best ways to save more money is to rebudget. I use an app like mint.com. You can use whatever you want. But what I find is, again, helping thousands of consumers, most of the area that we are overspending in is subscriptions and going out to eat. If you don't believe me, please, you guys, find out for yourself. Monitor how you're spending your money. Now, other than that, you guys, just finding a home with wedge, which means basically purchasing it for under market value, and finding a home with cash flow. Now, both of those things can be figured out by using a realtor that has access to MLS that can do a market analysis. And other than that, guys, obviously having the right expectations. Yes, generally real estate rebounds in 10 years, but you got to make sure you can make it through that 10 years. Last time, I didn't make it through that 10 years. When I had a foreclosure, I couldn't make it through. Now that house is worth twice as much, right? But again, I couldn't make it through. So it doesn't matter that prices rebounded because I lost everything. Now, other than that, guys, I really hope you guys found great value, perspective, and insights. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck, and I hope you win.